Oh, we'll be silly.
No.
I'm happy to be silly.
Yeah.
Dean, I don't give a flying flip if it's Dylan Moore. You sit your ass at the Shabbos table till 10 o'clock and then you can go do your thing. Ben Key, you can choose any.
Yeah.
I know.
No,
we need
actually-
a forward. We need a forward.
I might wait, hold on. I'm not talking. Ben Keys.
Yeah.
What? Why?
I've actually heard the only thing less likely than a North Melbourne win is Chase making a sale at work.
What's that? That's
Backs. Yeah.
Mids, forwards.
Harry. Ooh, Adams, 89.
Welcome back to Dos and Toss, Season 5, Episode 26, the season finale, if you will. This is an absolute raw dog of a show. I didn't even know we were doing a podcast an hour and a half ago, but then Dean said your lunch might be finishing. It might have time before Brodie's Pilates. And then, Dean, your lunch extended a little bit further, so we'll be reasonably quick. But we haven't spoken since the grand final, or since the Wednesday of the grand final, so it's been a while. Brodie?
Yeah, just before we continue, Dean had a 3.5 hour lunch. I don't think I've ever heard of that before.
And I left early.
They're still going.
Early. It was still going.
What do you do about dinner now? Like,
Yeah.
you have dinner or you skip?
I'll definitely have dinner. I'll be hungry. That's for the
You
other
weren't
people.
eating for all 3.5 hours, were you?
No, you weren't. There's time in between the meals. We just had dessert. The great gluten-free for me cake, that brownie one.
Why gluten-free for you?
Well, it's par of... No,
I'm
it's
sure the others
called...
couldn't eat it either.
No. The place is called gluten-free for me.
Oh.
It's that brownie cake. You had it at mine last night, Brodie.
Yeah, it's good.
Brodie
Chase?
last night, as he does, desserts put out. There's cookies, there's brownies, there's fruit, there's nougat, there's dried mango. An hour later, I see Brodie. He's just gone into the fridge. He's got himself an up and go and an apple.
Yeah,
As only Brodie would.
there's too much rubbish out there and I couldn't control myself, so I had to get something different.
Yeah, no, that's fair enough.
Fair enough. At midnight, up and
I mean,
go,
is that
up
the
and
equivalent
go.
of me getting a piece of challah and toasting it?
That's what I was thinking.
Ah.
Anyway, Dean, 3.5 hours and you come back with 0 St Kilda insight. Well done.
Yeah. No, I won't. Can't say anything.
Don't want to throw anyone under the bus?
Nah, definitely not.
Okay, fair enough. Shout out to... Nah, just kidding. Grand final, Brisbane, good on them. It was a while ago now, but...
Good on them.
Yeah, I mean, just on them, like... Wow, aren't they just complete and young and raw? Like, they could only win the next, 5 flags. They won't, but, they obviously won't. But the way they're set up right now, has there been a team ever that's won a flag and been in a better position to go again?
Yes. You could argue Brisbane in the early 2000s. You could argue Hawthorn. You could argue Richmond.
Fair.
As in terms of...
Sorry, I mean actually for long-term success rather than just
But
next
even
season.
this year's off-season acquisitions, Draper, Oscar Allen, pick 16, and Daniel Venable, is it? Annable? Daniel Annable.
Daniel Annable, yeah. Yeah, they're looking pretty scary. And you just look at all their young players contributed. Obviously, Ashcroft got the Norm Smith, Fletcher, Wilmot, Logan Morris. It's scary what these guys are going to be able to do. The only way I see it falling apart eventually is if guys like Logan Morris and Will Ashcroft want to come back to Victoria, or they end up having to sign some of these players on big money and then some fall out. Because that's essentially what's happened with Melbourne, I guess. We had to sign all our players and we never actually acquired anyone. But Brisbane have already done that.
Yeah. Hindsight's a wonderful thing. It can change so fast. Melbourne were destined for a dynasty, as you'd be all over that, Chase. And then, look, 2 years of straight sets in a row, and now your two favourites from that 2021 team are looking like they'll be out.
Including Jody McVeigh.
No, honestly, Jordan McVeigh actually hurts the most out of anyone leaving. Because he's part of the future. But on Oliver and Petrarca, I guess it would be remiss of me not to mention it. I've had everyone come up to me and ask, how do I feel about it? And honestly, feel very good. Feel very excited by it.
Really?
Yeah, obviously, emotionally, the attachment is there. More so to Clary. But we've finished 14th in the past 2 years. with these players. So ultimately, Stephen King has come in with an objective lens. There's no friendship. There's no attachment there like Simon Goodwin had.
Love,
yep, sure. And it's not there. And he's like, hey, this is where we're moving forward, and we don't want these players. And we talk about problems at Melbourne. We talk about culture. I reckon these two are the two of the biggest problems that Melbourne have had in the past few years.
It's bold of you to say that you feel good after losing Clary and Petrarca, because personally, when I lost Chris Paul and Blake Griffin, I was crying.
Yeah, well, I'm a bit older than you would have been. I reckon...
context is key. It's like, if you were to tell a young Chase you'll lose Clary and Petrarca, he would cry then, but now you've matured, Chase.
You kind of have to.
Yeah, but even over the podcast, like early days when there was the D's bias and Clary.
Clary's matured?
No, I actually, honestly, like I was on the phone to a friend of the podcast, Remy, today. Actually, a funny story. Kane Corns like rung Remy because his number got like in the system somehow. Anyway, that's completely irrelevant.
Can you go and give us more?
Our CRM's a bit weird, and where we have like all our customer database, and I think like we were looking at Kane Corns like on this software. You can honestly find like heaps of guys' phone numbers, and it got onto the CRM. And it changed one of the numbers and that Remy was supposed to be calling, and he accidentally called him. So yeah,
did he need a defib?
Nah, he didn't. Anyway, back to Remy and Clary. So like I was telling Remy, like I'm very off Clary. I think the way he spoke in the media yesterday was pretty disrespectful. This is a guy that has been a problem for Melbourne. Yes, he has his accolades, but Melbourne have done a lot for him, especially Max Gawn, who literally brought him into his house, drove him to training every day. And for him to kind of brush it off and make smart-ass comments, I thought was very disrespectful from Clary. And I understand, yeah, cool, let players be themselves, but this is it's just not on. I think it was uncalled for. And it clearly shows that he's a problem. And Melbourne ultimately will be better off without him and without Petrarca, who has been... I think he's been quite selfish, quite arrogant. He tried to shop himself to Collingwood last year without his... Well, he tried to do it by himself without his management, and I believe that's why he's since changed management to Eddie Betts' wife. So I think these guys are problems. I think Stephen May is probably been a problem, and I think our younger players will be better off for it. Look at Hawthorn. Yeah, Brodie?
Interesting you say that these guys are a problem, Clary and Stephen May, because I remember mentioning this to you after the Collingwood game when Stephen May was barking at Max Gawn. I said there's obviously some internal issues here. It's deeper than just what you see on the field, and you were saying otherwise, that it wasn't.
Potentially I may have said otherwise. I also could have changed my tune. I think Stephen May is a problem more, not for... Maybe he is a cultural problem, but I think generally he's just on the decline and he's not good enough anymore. But Hawthorn, I wanted to kind of compare to Hawthorn when we did our first episode in 2022 or 3, and Zach came on the podcast and he said Hawthorn top 8, and obviously the big joke. And I said to you guys at the time, like, what's your midfield? Like, you get rid of Tom Mitchell and Jago Mira, like, or you can have Newcomb and Day and Ward in your midfield. Like, what the hell's that? And at the time, you'd be thinking, yeah, okay, maybe not the best midfield. Then they play 20, 30, 40 games together. And look what it has resulted in now for Hawthorn. So I look at Melbourne and say, hey, there might not be Oliver and Petrarca, but you're going to have Rivers, Langford, Lindsay, Windsor, Pickett playing 20, 30, 40 games together, centre bounces after centre bounce. They're going to grow eventually. So I'm not too concerned about losing Petrarca and Oliver at all.
No, I just think if you were to go back over this season, it could be described as a waste. Last season, you would have got much more in a trade for both Oliver and Petrarca. We knew this would happen, that I don't know why you kept Goodwin on for another year. We knew that it starts with the head of the snake. You needed to get rid of the coach to reset, and in resetting, you probably had to get rid of Clary because he's not going to be the player he once was, and Petrarca, for a number of reasons, also wasn't the player he used to be. But in saying that, it's hard because Clary's now done you a disservice in how he's gone about it. You're not going to get anything for him, and you're going to be paying his contract. Whereas last year, if you could have got something, I think you would have taken it.
Yeah,
in hindsight.
You're right. And yeah, you're definitely right. Hindsight's a wonderful thing. But it's like, it's better we do it this year than next year.
Yeah.
You can always look at the past and say what ifs, and there can always be a better decision you could have made in the past. But you may as well just say, hey, all right, we made a mistake in the past. Let's just get it done now.
Yeah, I know. It's definitely hindsight's a wonderful thing, but I just thought this season was such an obvious season for Melbourne. Like if you said this,
maybe from a neutral's lens for me,
I could see this happening. You weren't going to make finals. Petrarca came second in the best and fairest, but didn't have his damaging impact. And Oliver showed a bit, but he also showed that he's still not what he used to be. And now they both won out again, and May's on the decline. Like I just feel like nothing was surprising.
Yeah, no,
so
that's fair, and
yeah.
you're right, because that's how it ended up. We finished 14th. The one thing I want cop, and then we can move on, is the criticism of Tim Lamb signing Petrarca and Oliver on long-term deals when he did. Like when it was in 2022, I believe, when both of them signed, they were both two of the top 5 players in the comp. And you look at the contracts that are getting thrown around now to unproven players. I don't know why you can criticize the decisions made then. So I think like Hank Horns has been critical, saying that Clary's contract is the worst ever. Maybe in hindsight it hasn't panned out well, but this guy was one of the best players in the comp when he signed, so you had to do it.
Yeah, and you do have to put the contracts into context. The teams and the managers of the lists don't have much power when it comes to this. The players and their agents have all the power, all the leverage. They're going to go and sign 8-year deals, and if the teams don't give it to them, well, then your players are gone.
Yeah. Moving forward, how about Geelong and their silly Sunday? They're done.
Yeah.
No
Well,
longer.
what do you mean? I don't get how they can be done. Like
is it
they're
just
never
a
going to do it again.
Post-season drinks now for them? No dress-ups?
I think they might just
Is
have
there
to be
dress-ups
retained.
behind closed doors?
Well,
So they went as a few players went as an Irish band.
kneecap,
Mm.
yeah.
Is that the reason they can't do
I
it
don't
again?
think,
Because
I reckon it's more on the Bailey Smith, which I didn't
Yeah.
understand what the problem there was.
Gayra? I don't know.
Like Mitch Brown had a problem with it, but I don't understand.
Of course.
Yeah, but I actually don't understand what was homophobic
Well,
about
he-
it.
It was like
no, I think it was
it had to do with the movie.
it's something with
Them
the
posing like
movie. But he said he didn't even know the movie. He just
Yeah.
looked like the character.
Yeah.
And he was also very active on
So-
social media,
Yeah.
which, if I'm Geelong, like you've got to take his phone away before a silly Sunday.
Did,
Did he?
according to the
That's something again where you're like,
He was being stupid, but I don't think he did anything wrong.
the kneecap is pretty.
Yeah,
I think
agree
the
with that.
Caro comment was a bit too far.
What? Caro said it
What
was
did he
fine.
say?
Caro's never looked hotter. Water emoji, another emoji.
Yeah, okay, that's probably not on.
Nah, like I wouldn't.
Yeah.
I don't think you need to say that. I thought the kneecap thing is what they should be getting in trouble for, but I don't know if anything's actually happened.
Yeah.
And they just got their slap on the wrist for the third
absolute
party.
slap on the wrist. Like,
payments.
seriously.
77,000.
77k, and like Ken Hinkley got 20k for being an aeroplane.
Well, 77, but 40 is suspended.
Yeah, so 37. I think someone like did the math and said like it was equivalent to if someone was earning 75,000 a year, it was equivalent to a $33 fine. So yeah,
Wow.
absolute slap on the wrist. I don't know exactly what the findings were from Geelong, but
Where do you think the fine money goes?
To concussion research.
does it?
Really?
Yeah, I saw that all of the players' fines this year went to concussion research.
Well, that's cool. That's at least a good thing. I thought it just went back to the AFL.
Because then there's too much of an incentive to fine.
What about the AFLW player getting fined $100
Yeah.
for the pony?
I said it's the
Tell.
equivalent of a speeding parking ticket.
Yeah, they'd be pretty pissed with that, but also not on.
Don't pull ponytails.
Yeah.
What if a men's player had a ponytail?
Well, that's a good question. I mean, we've
Alex
seen.
Pierce?
Well, yeah,
Pony?
Alex Pierce. Anyone who's tied
I'd
their hair
love
up.
to pull Alex Pierce's ponytail.
All right.
Any other trade, and I mean, it's obviously going on now, the trade period, but Dean, the Hawks are pretty involved with Zach Merritt. Do you reckon that one gets done?
I think it does. At the deadline. Oh, I was listening this morning. Have you been listening to a lot of
A
trade?
little bit. But
Today-
I just can't sound the ads.
Oh, the ads. I listen on the podcast, so I try to not get the ads. But today I was just fed up with it. Like Tom Morris saying the same thing about Zach Merritt. I'm like, nothing's going to change. I'm just going to tune in Wednesday, 7:25 p.m., 5 minutes before the deadline.
5 minutes, yeah.
Like, No, it's all rumours. I'm happy to hear James Hird and his opinion and his past experiences, but Tom Morris and these other journos trying to fish for storylines with
I don't listen.
Nick Dacos
Yeah.
and other players, and just like,
They're simply trying to stay relevant during the off season when nothing's happening.
yeah, like they need to fill 2 hours of radio, and they're just going to talk about Zach Merritt all day, every day. Charlie Curnow, nothing's going to change from now to then. So at the moment, my thoughts are gets done at the very end. I think Hawthorn will have to do like what we did last year with Barris, where we made another trade to get a certain amount of picks to satisfy West Coast. I think we'll do that with Essendon, and it gets done. I think we have a lot more leverage than people think. I really think Essendon can't have him coming back.
Yeah.
They need to move on.
It would be tough. Like, he's honestly the face of the club. He's their captain, and I don't know if more draft picks are actually going to help them as opposed to your best player and captain to lead your team. But the issue is, if he goes back to Essendon, he's probably not the captain, and he's not the same figure to the younger players as he was last year because of what's transpired.
Could it be a blessing in disguise, him leaving?
It may.
Like,
I mean, we're gonna have
Fresh
to.
start.
You're gonna have to look. We're gonna look back at it in 6 years and see who those draft picks are that Essendon take. Or
well, not even who you get for him. More just they need a rebuild. Rather do a harsh rebuild and try get in before Tassie or something. Look at
True.
Richmond.
no, I reckon these next 2 drafts before Tassie are super important for North, Essendon, West Coast. Like, they actually have to really nail
Like if
these drafts.
Essendon can nail the next 2 drafts and then keep like Parrish and Caldwell as your Tim Taranto and Hopper. I'm very bullish on Richmond. I really like what they've done. And you keep a few of those senior guys, you keep your Redmond down back and Ridley with Peter Wright up forward, and then you bring in a lot of young guys, and then hopefully you've avoided that Tassie drafts. We'll see. I don't know.
De Koning and Silvani.
to St Kilda. Well,
Saints
yeah,
making
let's
some
talk
big
about
moves.
St Kilda quickly because they're obviously making a lot of big money moves. I don't know. I'm not sure about it. And I said it initially when the rumours came out about De Koning's contract, even with Callahan's contract that they offered him. I think it was almost, $2 million a year for Callahan or something like that. Some crazy long-term contract. And I just think, it's going to be a problem for the other players like Windhager and Wilkie, who they've somehow they've kept them. But we've seen this story before from St Kilda. Now, they didn't have Nazai Wanganeen-Malira, who's one of the best players in the comp, but let's go back to 2019. St Kilda, again, mediocre. And they recruit Brad Hill. They recruit Paddy Ryder. They got Hanbury and Zach Jones and the year
Butler.
before. Dougal Howard,
Those players are
Dan
all past
Butler.
their prime.
No, at the time they weren't.
Brad Hill was in
Brad
his
Hill
prime.
was-
Hill arguably wasn't, but the rest
Ryder was the reason they won a final.
Yeah, fair. Dan Butler was definitely... It was a good
Yeah,
pickup at
but-
the time. He had a great year in 2020, sorry. So they've splashed the cash before. It's not the first time. And I think the players they've brought in and will bring in this year are better than those guys, but not much better. They're not A-graders. I mean, Tom De Koning, I think he's slightly overrated. Yeah. I don't think he's going to be a massive improvement on Rowan Marshall, especially if they lose him. Sam Flanders, good pickup, a lot of money. Not sure about that. Leclerc is completely unproven. He hasn't done anything. He's just an athlete, in my opinion. And Silvani had half a good year as a defender and is very injury prone. And Liam Ryan, 29, bit washed. Like, what's he done in the past few years? So, I don't know. I just don't think that any of these players are... They're B graders, B plus at most. They're not players that are going to lead them to a premiership. Is Nazaya on his own enough? I don't think so. I think their ceiling is not high enough.
Yeah, I understand what they're trying to do. You can say they've been handicapped by Nazaya because if they don't improve the list, he's gone in 2 years. And to see what one player means to a whole franchise like Nazaya Wanganeen-Miller, I genuinely think they would be in a state of depression if he was to have left. But in saying that, I don't know if it's a premiership strategy or a relevant strategy. And I tend to think it's more of let's try and stay relevant rather than let's actually win the premiership.
Yeah, I get they had to do something, but
yeah, you've got a top 5 player. You need to make the most of him, but
I think they just could have been a bit more selective. If you're going to splash that amount of cash and use pick 7, like why didn't they try and use pick 7 and 900k on a Bailey Humphrey or on a Zach Merritt even, or a Christian Petrarca?
They tried Merritt last year.
Yeah, or I don't know, Jordan De Goey is rumoured today, but I don't think there's anything really to that. I just don't like the caliber of players. I feel like they're just picking up whoever's available rather than being selective on their needs. They have decent young core coming through, but again, there's going to be money issues down the line in 3, 4, 5 years if they're not a successful club. I mean, can you imagine if St Kilda are anywhere from sort of 7th to 13th, and you've got like Sam Flanders at 900k and TDK on this money? There's going to be massive problems, especially for those young guys coming up.
Taru will need a big deal.
Yeah.
Triple M.
Yes.
Couldn't forget about speaking about that situation.
Yeah, it was nice that they reposted the video.
Bit of a full circle moment.
Bit of.
I feel like everything we try to push, or at least you try to push and strive for, during the early days of Dos and Toss was inspired by Triple M and their ship Brownlee questions. Their goofy, the goofiness is effectively rubbed off on us, and we were obviously extremely passionate about how it all worked and waiting each year and hearing the questions and things like that. So pretty cool to reposted it. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, it was cool. It was nice of them, and I kind of understood why they didn't post it, because I reckon, I forgot his name who asked the question. Will. I think it's Will, yeah?
I saw in the comments.
Yeah, so he said that he botched the question, but I don't think he did. I think Harry botched the answer.
He botched the question.
Really? I reckon it was fine English. I reckon Harry said something, he said it weird, like he repeated the question and said it right.
Do you tip your deliver?
No, he said deliverer.
Oh, I didn't hear the
Harry said, do you tip your deliver? He didn't. I think he was flustered, Harry.
Yeah, but even Harry's answer, I didn't think it was that funny.
Yeah,
it was too logical. Because Harry knew what he was trying to do, whereas most players are caught off guard and they're like,
and that's what
what
they want.
Harry was too switched on.
Yeah. I agree. I reckon it just wasn't good content.
So you reckon someone at Triple M saw us on their For You page or something? And
probably, yeah. It would have. I also tagged them. So
okay. Okay.
190,000 followers they have. And we get 5 followers from that post.
Yeah, no, it was elite. Thanks to those 5. Yeah. Well, Brodie, you got to go to Pilates soon. So
We've got 10 minutes.
Yeah.
No rush.
Let's go.
How are the injuries?
A bit of a sore hammy at the moment, but we don't need to speak about that now.
Yeah. Another season of Dust and Toss, 26 episodes. We'll just go around the table, or around the couch, sorry. I guess sort of reflect on the year. What was your highlights? What was your, maybe a let's not be silly for the year? Brodie? Off the dome?
I don't. I'm just looking at it.
Let's not be silly comes and he always goes to the notes app.
Nah, can you go first?
I'll try. Highlight of the year. I actually enjoyed I think it was our first or second episode with Terry from Blue Broad. I thought he was really good quality. I enjoyed our episode with Harry, with Dotto Sher, with all the guests that came on. I can't remember.
Shosty filled in.
Yeah, there was a bit of a patch there where you two were away, and Shosty and also Aiden Karp filled in the fellas. So shout out to them.
I liked when Kobe Felbell came on and his take on the bounce.
He was.
It's a shame it didn't come to fruition.
Yeah, he was onto something. Obviously, they've gotten rid of it, but yeah, I guess he was onto something. Getting the professional bouncer, maybe that'll happen down the track. Let's not be silly. Let's not be silly to myself. I've made a lot of terrible predictions this year. Starting off from before the season, I think I looked at like those videos that I made. I think that I got them all wrong. I said Richmond won't win a game. North will beat Geelong. Jack Sinclair should be traded.
I agree with that.
Right now? You would trade
Yeah.
Jack Sinclair after what they've just done?
I think they need to maximise one of the Sinclair Marshall Steele, and
It'll be
they've
Marshall.
missed on Steele, and they've probably missed by 1 year on Marshall. You would have got more for him last year, no?
Yeah. Oh, I don't think so. It would have been It would have been a late first round last year as well, because Geelong don't have anything.
Maybe.
Might saying that Melbourne were going to replace Hawthorn in the finals. Not great. So yeah, but ultimately, there's a lot of people out there that have similar shit opinions, but just don't voice them. So I put myself on the stage to do it.
Yeah. I even saw SEN, every single analyst predicted Geelong to beat Brisbane except for Alistair Lynch, which he has his own bias. And I'm like, your boys just sitting here, tipped Brisbane by 43.
Very last minute.
Yeah.
Change it, but we'll allow
Very
it.
last minute. Yeah, we do have to allow.
Underrated moment was when Chase used AI to put Harry in the shower singing, practicing a speech, and then the Bachelor one, which got deleted.
Yeah, I had to delete that one.
That was the one with him in a suit and a rose. He also, I noticed he put us in tuxedos, and I don't recall ever
No,
wearing a
I
bow
just
tie.
photoshopped it.
I liked
yeah.
it.
That was also pretty funny. I'm like, wait a minute, I don't know one of those. So
I like Dean in it. He looked good.
yeah, Dean.
In the
maybe
top?
should.
You've worn the black suit to grad. You wore the black.
Yes, but not with the
I only have navy.
The
grad questions.
the screenshot that I took of you, like you were looking very direct into the camera. It was almost seductive the way you were staring down the lens. So yeah, we got to get Dean in a tux.
All right, just off the dome. Let's not be silly. Am I trying to think of like a guest, a moment, or
Well, I can't help you because it's your turn. Feel free to explore any avenues here. Individuals, a team, something that you said, a guest.
I enjoyed when we did the pod straight after Melbourne Collingwood, and I was in between you both, and emotions were high.
Yeah,
I thought it
raw.
was good content.
Yeah, it was raw.
Something a bit
Going back
different
and
on a
forth.
Monday night. Yeah.
That was great. That was very funny.
It'd be, as you touched on it earlier, it'd be interesting to look back on. I reckon Brodie's probably got the upper hand with the Stephen May.
Oh,
Right,
yeah.
I've touched on that before.
Yeah.
I don't. Yeah. Brodie,
What?
Well, he
Can I just
said-
did you just say?
Yeah, but another highlight was beating you in fantasy whilst sharing a sharing a apartment together in
Yeah.
Europe. So that was a great time.
Which meant nothing in the
Chase
end because I finished
had a
third
quarter
anyway.
life crisis. There was a photo I sent to Dean where Chase just had his hand on his head, just like looking into the water for a solid hour and just like picking up a rock and playing with it. And I'm just on the outdoor gym looking at him like, holy crap.
I actually remember that very clearly.
Should be it's called fantasy for a reason, but this guy is on his Europe holiday in his own head about it. Or D's also lost as well. So.
Yeah, I think it was a bit of a combination of. No, I don't think my fantasy team was falling apart. I don't know how I finished third.
Alon Peters's question: which team would beat the Gorilla? Chase's
Yeah, that was good.
analysis of Adelaide taking down.
reposted it.
Yeah.
I that was great.
That
That was good by you, Che. I like when you have something up your sleeve.
Okay, I like when you have something up your sleeve.
All right, that's enough.
Let's go to from the fans. Aaron says, "Can we get Remy back? He's our new work. He's my new colleague."
Yeah.
No, just Remy's an
you
absolute
posted
fraud.
Fiend past the gefilte fish, didn't you?
Yeah.
Did Fiend look at it?
I didn't tag him. Remy's a fraud. So like I've asked Remy to come on a couple times this year, and he said no. And then like always at work, he's like, "Oh, you're getting me on, or do you need me on?" And I was like, "Mate, I'm not going through this again."
Zelwa really wants to come on. I was just with him at lunch.
Oh, yeah?
I reckon he's due.
Yeah, potentially. Who's your top 3 players in the league from Matty Gaz? Dacos, Bont.
Recency bias, but could you put Harris Andrews in there?
You could. You honestly could.
Jezza, Dacos, Dawson.
I was also going to have Jezza in there.
Kicked 90 goals.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah, and he like when you think about players you're watching and you don't want them to get the ball, like when you're at a game, every time Jeremy Cameron gets the ball and it's against
Really?
Hawthorn, I'm
So
just
who's your
like,
top three?
I'm not that scared of Jeremy Cameron for
Who's
some
your top
reason.
3?
I'm trying to think of my third.
I'd go Cameron.
Yeah, I actually agree with you, Dean. I actually would put Harris Andrews in after his final series.
Cameron, Harris Andrews, and probably Dacos.
Okay. Stigs, do the compensation picks help Carlton because of their father's son, Harry Dean? Well, yes, they accumulate more points for him. So, pretty simple answer. Yes. Devon, how many hundreds will we see in the Ashes? Bit of cricket from Dev. He also asked who will win the Big Bash.
3.
Only 3. Well, the question is, will Joe Root make 100 in the Ashes?
Why has he got?
He's never made 100 in Australia. The blight on his record. I think otherwise he'd be the best batsman of our
I
generation.
think he will. He's got 5 tests.
He's got 5 tests. He's had 5 tests every time. He's
Yeah.
had
It's got to do with the
4 series?
the different ball, yeah, maybe.
Potentially.
I know in England they use a different ball.
The
for
Dukes,
tests.
yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Cummins might be out of the series.
Yeah,
He's definitely out of his
really?
first
Yeah.
test.
Is
yeah.
that today?
Yeah, it
Injured?
was. Yeah, back stress fracture in his
Wow.
back hasn't healed.
He may miss the entirety of it.
Mm,
Yeah.
Boland will
Any
do
other
the job.
questions?
Yeah.
How many hundreds? Yeah, I don't know if we'll see one from
I'll go with
Australian
5.
batsmen.
I'll go with 5. I think you will.
The
I
Aussie
think
batsmen are not good.
Travis Head will. I reckon Alex
Oh,
Carey might
Head.
make 100 if he plays.
Cam Green,
Probably not.
Who's going to win the Big Bash? I honestly have no idea who's playing for any
It's
team
more
anymore.
irrelevant every year, unfortunately.
I'll go with the. Who won it last year? Hurricanes.
Maybe I
Yeah, no, they did.
genuinely.
They did.
I once did Big Bash Fantasy and it was very good. 2016.
Yeah, we all did it. No, I don't know. I did.
I'll go strikers.
Zach says, "What can make the trade period better?"
a Luka Doncic and Anthony Davis type trade.
Mid-season trade period.
Yeah, I'm not a fan.
Um,
Should it be shorter?
trading players without consent.
Yeah.
I think that's too complicated. There's not enough money in the game to do that. Because like,
I
let's say
think we need to mature
let's say
soon.
Melbourne decided to trade Oliver to GWS. That means he probably has to he has to sell his house, go live in Bondi, very expensive. Obviously, he can afford it, but it's just there's too many lifestyle changes that would be too difficult.
You've started with the big fish. What about like a ruckman in the twos? He'd be on a rookie contract. I don't know.
I think players get pushed out anyway. Like, really.
Yeah, but when a player signs a long-term contract and they want to break the contract, they're allowed to.
Yeah.
But a club's not allowed to if they want to.
I think it should just be shorter. Like the trade period is on right now, and nothing's really happening when it could have happened before. Nah, no questions.
That's me.
I guess final words. We'll finish up with you, Brodie. Great year. Thanks for listening, all the fans. Thank you, Dean, for your efforts. Thank you, Brodie. Thank you to all the guests that have come on. I apologise if I've missed. Kai came on. Adam Schuster as well. I'm forgetting
Also
anyone.
sure.
Zach,
I said all
Zach
of them.
had an episode.
Yeah, Zach had an episode.
Stiglitz, I don't think he got on this year, did he?
Unlucky Stiglitz. No good.
No Ben Levine this year.
No, unfortunately not. So
Spicer, no.
yeah. Well, there it is. Don't know what the future of Elsentos holds, but nonetheless,
If this is the last one,
yeah.
It's
Then yeah, it's been real. It's been real. It's always good to get on the mics and have a good break and get away. Need a bit of a freshen up from footy, I reckon.
Yeah. I like that we've taken our time to get to this one. It's good, and yeah.
Any final words?
I've enjoyed it. Just raw dog this one. No notes, no run sheet,
Yeah,
no footy, just sitting on the couch talking.
yeah. It's like the good old days.
talking, yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Thank you very much for listening, and we'll see you later.
Peace.